Assalamualaikum. This is my video submission for week 3 task. My name is Akan Wansa with the last NPM number 223. Okay, we have the first exercise. This is C10.1, setting productivity standard. The question is, Walton Incorporation intends to expand its punch press department with the purchase of 3 new presses from Presso Inc. Mechanical studies indicate that for the company's intended use, the output rate for one press should be 1,000 pieces per hour. The company has similar press now in operation that average 600 pieces per hour. This average is derived from the individual output as shown in the table that follows. You can see in the table here with the name of the worker and the hourly output. Like Alan W, its hourly output is 750. And then the next slide. Then the company's management also plans to institute a standard cost accounting system in the very near future. The company's engineers are supporting a standard based on 1,000 pieces per hour. The accounting department, a standard based on 750 pieces per hour. Meanwhile, the punch press department supervisor, a standard based on 600 pieces per hour. And the question is, the required thing is 1. Specify arguments that could be used by its proponent, and 2. Decide which alternative best reconciles the needs of cost control and employee motivation. Explain. Okay. This is the first argument by engineers. So, mechanical studies indicate that for the company's intended use, the output rate for one press should be 1,000 pieces per hour. That standards should reflect maximum efficient capacity, and a high standard will encourage efficiency, eliminate slack, pushing workers toward full optimization of the new machine. For the second argument, it's from accountants. The accountant's argument is the best current workers, Allen and Miller, produce 750 pieces per hour. 750 represents strong but achievable performance. Standards should be challenging but realistic and reflect what skilled workers can achieve. The 1,000 pieces standards can put too much pressure and demoralization. The 1,000 pieces is the engineer's argument. Finally, this is the punch press supervisor argument. The argument is current department average of 600 pieces reflects normal worker abilities, fatigue, and real-life disruption in the production. Setting higher standards may create tension, increase pressure, and lower morale. So, considering all of that, which alternative best reconciles cost control and employee motivation? The answer is actually the accountant's argument. It's the 750-piece standard. The 750-piece standard best reconciles cost control and employee motivation because it represents a challenging yet attainable level of performance based on demonstrated worker capability. It promotes efficiency improvements while avoiding the demoralizing effects of an unrealistic engineering standard or the inefficiency of a historical average standard. For the next slide, we move into the second exercise. This is exercise E1111, various overhead rates. The question is, Nazareth Company estimates overhead of $225,000 for the next year. An estimated 25,000 units will be produced, with material cost of $500,000. Conversion will require an estimated 56,250 direct labor hours at a cost of $8 per hour, and an estimated 75,000 machine hours. The question is, required. Compute the predetermined overhead rate to be used in applying a factory overhead to production on each of the following bases. 1. Units of production. 2. Materials cost. 3. Direct labor hours. 4. Direct labor cost. And 5. Machine hours. So, for the first predetermined factory overhead, this is based on unit of production. The formula is estimated factory overhead divided by estimated unit of production. It will be equal to factory overhead per unit. From the case, we know that factory overhead is 225,000. Meanwhile, the unit of production is 25,000. We divided that and we will get $9 per unit. It means its completed unit is charged $9 as its share of factory overhead. The second one is materials cost. The material cost formula is similar, but it is times by 100 because we want to know what the percentage is. The formula is estimated factory overhead divided by estimated material cost and times 100. We will get factory overhead as a percentage of direct material cost. So the estimated factory overhead is 225,000 divided by estimated material cost of $500,000. We will times that by 100 and we will get 45%. This means 45% of material cost. This means if there is an order requiring $5,000 in material cost, it will be charged $2,250 for its factory overhead. From the calculation of $5,000 material cost times 45% of predetermined factory overhead. For the next one is direct labor hours. The formula is estimated factory overhead divided by estimated direct labor hours. We will get factory overhead per direct labor hour. So it's 225,000 divided by 56,250. We will get $4 per direct labor hour. This means if there is a product that requires 5 direct labor hours, it will be charged $20 for factory overhead. This is the direct labor cost. It is quite the same, the formula. So estimated factory overhead divided by estimated direct labor cost and times 100. We will get factory as a percentage of direct labor cost. So it's 225,000 divided by, in parentheses, we should calculate this first, 56,250 times 8, then 225,000 divided by that times 100, we will get 50% of direct labor cost. So this means if there is an order requiring $5,000 of direct labor cost, it will be charged $2,500 for its factory overhead. Finally, the last one is machine hours. The formula is estimated factory overhead divided by estimated machine hours. We will get factory overhead per machine hour. So the answer is 225,000 divided by 75,000. We will get $3 per machine hour. This means a job or product that require 100 machine hours will be charged $300 for its factory overhead. So this is the last question. Thank you for listening.